Do you guys see? You guys must see that, eh? The little timer up in the right-hand corner. Do you guys see that?
No.
No, right where my mouse is.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
It's got a little timer going. I was hoping you guys would see if it disappears. All right. So yesterday, if you remember, we worked with this. What did we work with? X minus R, X minus S. And we got numbers for X and Y and R and S. And then we plugged them in and we solved for A. Do you guys remember that yesterday? Look in the chat and see if anyone's there. Fiona, you don't remember that at all? Tanner, yes. Good. Oh, yes. Good, Fiona. So, you said no to whether you can see it. So, today we're doing the exact same thing, but this is a factored form that we did yesterday. Today we're going to look at vertex form and pretty much do the exact same thing. But this time, instead of be given zeros, which are the R and S, and a point, we're going to be given a vertex, which is H and K and a point. Okay? So, if we take a look at this first example, we're asked to write the quadratic that has the vertex of 4 and 15 and goes through the point -2, -3. And if you remember vertex form, the vertex is H and K. So 4 is the H, 15 is the K. And this is our X and Y points. So what I like to do, I like to write down everything we have, right? X, Y, H, K, and A. So in this case, our X is -2, our Y is -3, our H is 4, and our K is 15. And here's what we're looking for. Okay? Then, what we do is we plug everything in. So I'm going to write down the formula again. That way I know where everything goes.
So it's -3.
Yeah.
Equals A
-4, good, because we're land of opposites, right? Plus 15. Now we need to rearrange to solve for A. So the first thing we can do is this +15 over here, we can move to the other side. So if it's positive on this side, it's going to be what on the other side? Good, -15. And then we can combine these two in here. So -2 minus 4 is -6. Okay? If I ever go too fast, just type in chat slow down or something like that, or even just an S. Okay? So now we can combine these two over here. So -3 minus 15 is going to be -18 equals, what's -6 squared? -6 times -6. Perfect. 36. I like to put it in front of the A because that's how we always look at it. Like when we have 2x equals something, I always put it in front. You could put it behind, but it just looks weird to me. So I move it up. Now, how do I need that A all by itself, so how do I move this 36 over? What is it at right now? It's a multiply, because there's nothing between the 36 and the A, right? Very good. It becomes a divide. What did I just do there? Divided by 36 equals A. So in this case, a equals negative a half. And then we just plug it back into the equation. But when we plug it back into the equation, we leave the x and y as just x and y. So negative a half, bracket x minus 4 squared plus 15. Do we see that? Now here's my other thing we could do here. There's our answer right there. The other thing I could ask you to do is make this into standard form. Okay? So let's do that. So if I were to do standard form, now x minus 4 squared is the same as saying x minus 4 times x minus 4. Okay? Just as like 2 squared is 2 times 2. In this case, we're squaring this whole thing that's inside the bracket. And then we expand from there. So this is where we rainbow. But this stays in the bracket. Actually, it stays in the bracket. X squared minus 4x minus 4x plus 16. Now what should I do here before I rainbow this negative half in? I should do what? Starts with a C. Perfect. Put these two together. Right? You're right, Cam. So I'm just going to put those two together and make, negative 8x plus 16 plus 15. Now I can rainbow in. And since I have a negative half, just cut everything by 2. Oops, I made a mistake. That should be a plus because we're timesing in a negative. And then once again, Cam, what do I need to do here? Collect like terms with these two. And there's my simplified formula. Okay? So that's something I could ask you to do from there. Let's go back and do attendance now. I'll put it in chat too once I hear. I'll send you the link through the chat, or you can use your phone. To complete that. What's OC? Chris, what did you say, OC negative 8? Is it? Oh, I didn't do that. You're right. Chris found my error here. I didn't divide this by 2. Write your name. Well, one second. Did you click on the link?
You click it.
In chat. There's the thing for your phone. hypothetically, I'm missing one. No, I'm looking at the participants in the meeting. Is Z here? Z's here. Is Lago here? You're in there twice?
Yeah.
You are messing up my numbers. So I'm missing 2 people.
I'm here twice every day. I'm here twice every day. I'm like upstairs getting food. I can take it.
Interesting. Alright. Laura's here. Have I seen Tej yet?
Yeah.
No, Tej isn't here. Who's
Yeah.
my other one I'm missing? Lucas, Cam, so Z. Lawrence I've seen. 22 people right now. So I think I'm only missing, I'll look out after. Or estimate original right now. Okay. So, let's get back to what we're doing here. I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to use this information here and to try this one. Try to label your items that are there and make this first line. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. As I double check my attendance here.
Wait, what? Oh, we're supposed to do this.
Pardon?
Explain
Explain what you mean by this. Yeah, so what I want you to do, I'll highlight it here. Right now I want you to attempt to do this part and create this formula. Okay? Using this information here.
Does it matter which one's X?
Yep. Well, what's H and K stand for? H and K stands for your what? Can someone help me in the chat? If you look up here, H and K is your vertex. Okay, so that's when you're looking here at this one. Pick which one your vertex is your H and K, and then the other one is going to be your X and Y.
I see.
Oh, I got next here. How do I organize those? I miss it. Large is here, Christopher's here, Colin's here, Tanner's here, Tick's here. I'll look at that after. Alright. Can you tell me in chat when you're done? No. Get to this point here. We have the formula done. Okay. I'll wait a couple more minutes. in response. Alright. I'll take that. That's enough time for people. So, if I list everything here, that's my 5. That's my -4. This is my h. And this is my k. So if I were to fill in my formula, it would be -4, 5, plus 4 squared minus 9. How do we have success with that? The one spot where I could see people having a little mistake is this here, with a negative. You have to remember, oh sorry, positive 3, sorry. Because I'm putting in a negative. So since it's x minus h, x minus -3, these two negatives go together to make a positive, right? So you have to remember that's the land of opposites, so it flips. Yeah, that's okay. It's the same as yesterday with the x minus r and x minus s. So if we continue through here, oops, that's fine. That's 8 squared minus 9, and we move the 9 over, plus 9 equals 64a, which equals 5. So it's going to equal 5 over 64 equals a. Oops. One thing. Yeah. Now you can make that equal 0.08 if you wish. So my full-on equation is going to be this. 0.08 times x plus 3 squared minus 9. Can I get a thumbs up, thumbs down, or let's go at a 5 and chat there. 5, I totally understand it. 1, I'm 100% lost. 3, I'm kind of getting it. Yeah, 8 squared. I just moved this in front of the a. I could have wrote it equals a64, but it looks a lot better as 64a, because we see that all the time. Those two things mean the same thing, a times 64 or 64 times a. Okay?
Okay. Wait,
Where?
Hey,
Well, I did 8 squared and then moved it in front of the a.
Where did you put the 9? Because the 9 came over the 4.
Yeah, the 9 is a negative on this side.
Yeah.
So it came over to the other side and became positive.
So right when you switch the like 64 the 9 automatically goes over?
No. On this earlier one, I did it right away, like this 15.
Yeah.
I moved it over. I just forgot to move it over in this one.
Oh, okay.
You know, I just moved it over at a later time because I started writing it. I'm like, oh, I forgot. Right? But in this one, you can move it over any time. Like, I could have -4 equals 64a minus 9. Then I move it over. Okay? Like, this would be the same thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Why don't you put the 5 in the final equation? Oh, I just put the decimal place. I could have wrote, this is just as right. Those two are the exact same thing. Whether I want to write as a fraction, a as a fraction, or a as a decimal place, they both mean the exact same thing. Some people are just more comfortable with having a decimal out here instead of a fraction. Now, I won't make you write them all out. Like, I got you expand this one to standard form because a half times something by a half kind of makes sense. Times something by 0.08, kind of ugly, right? But you could if you needed to. All right. So let's take a look at this here. I want you on your sheet of paper to draw a diagram and attempt to figure out the following thing. The first thing I want you to do is draw your picture, right? And try to figure out the vertex and a point for this before I start. Should we give this diver a name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Okay.
Mrs. O.
Mrs. O does not like to get her hair wet. She's a wimpy swimmer and only goes in the water when it's over 80 degrees. Pretty much. She's pretty soft. I appreciate Colin telling me he's going to the washroom, but you don't really need to. But I guess unless I haven't done attendance yet.
I don't understand how I'm supposed to go for an hour.
No, draw the picture of what's happening. Right? Yeah. So like start with a cliff. I would start with a cliff. I guess you can go off a diving board as well. Oh, it is from a dive platform. Okay. Oh, I lost my legs.
It's 9 meters.
There you go.
How does this go down?
It's in there.
Oh. Wait. Oh, okay.
Oh.
How do we know the weight? How fast is it?
No, it doesn't. No, I don't think so. It's terminal velocity. Oh, within a vacuum. Within a vacuum, everything falls at the same rate. No, but you don't need to know his weight for this question.
Oh, I was asking. What does this
No. Correct.
Okay.
That's why we need to practice. So, are we ready for me, or do you want some more time? Tell me if you're ready or time in chat. Okay, I'll give you a couple more, maybe another minute or so. If you're already done, feel free to go ahead and try to solve the question. Right? So we're trying to get to the equation. Okay. Does anyone need more time? Write time in the chat for me. Okay, so let's get going here. So Mr. O attempts to stick a dive that is 9 meters above the surface water. Okay, so that's the first piece of information we have, is that I'm starting from right here. So we could take that as, we don't know if it's our x or y right now, but we know we have a point of 0 and 9, right? I'm starting at time 0, but 9 height. The path of the dive is parabolic, and he reaches a maximum height above the water of 10.1 at 1.2 meters second. Okay, so that's my second point. 1.2 in seconds and 10.1 in height. And may I say, if I can jump up in the air for 1.2 seconds, that's amazing. That's some serious vert. Write the equation. So now I have 2 points. Now I know my maximum height is this one. So that is going to be my h and k value. So this one here is therefore my x and y. So if I were to write out my points, it would look like this. Oops. How many people were able to, tell me if you're able to properly get that as your points in your vertex in chat, so I can get a good little. Yep. Good. That was good. Good. Now we just plug everything in to solve. So 9 equals a, 0 minus 1.2 squared plus 10.2. I'm going to move that 10.2 over right now. 9 minus 10.2 equals a 1.2 squared. So this is negative 1, negative 1.2 equals, what's 1.2 squared? $1.44. That should have been a negative there. Oh, fake news. Oops. Thank you, Ben. Then we're going to move it over and it will be a divide. .76. That's a negative. So therefore our, oops, I should have drew my little diagram. Y equals negative 0.76, 6 bracket x minus 1.2 squared plus 10.1. Okay? Now, what I could do here, and you could write the equation like this as well. The better one would be h for height equals that. And you can replace that x with like t for time or s for seconds. With this, I could ask you, how high am I? After you get this formula, I go, how high am I after 5 seconds? Or am I in the water after this much time? And those could be follow-up questions I could ask. Okay? This one here, I don't think we need to go through this. We already expanded one out. Okay? So we don't need to go through that. Unless, does anyone want to go through that? Tell me in chat if you want to go through it. I see Fiona just said yes. So did Christopher. So did Jory. So did Kara. No one's going to say anything? So, yes or no, do it or not? Tanner says I'm good. I like cleaning paper, so yes. Christopher, you're great. Okay. So right now what I'll do is, that's the lesson part for right now. I'm going to come back to this question. Okay. So I'm going to show you your homework. I'm going to show you your homework right now, but don't head off on me right away. So where's our homework? So go into Z's folder, homework, and you have you have 5 questions here to work through. Okay? There's one where you can grab it from the graph. There's one where there's 2 regular ones, 2 word questions, and a graph one. Okay? What I'm going to do today is I'm going to put together a check your understanding page as we go. I'm not sure where I'll put it, but I want you guys to complete that before tomorrow. Whether you complete it today or after, I'm not sure. So I think that's what I'm going to do today, just to check where everyone is and go from there. So for right now, you can pop over to your homework and work on that. And hopefully I made minimal errors, since you guys love finding all my errors. You can work on those 5 questions. If you want to come back to this and complete this with me, we can do that right now. Okay? So you guys you have time. I think we have almost an hour before my next block, because I think I said 10:45. So you guys have homework time right now, and then if I don't see you or hear from you with questions from homework, we'll start up at 10:45. Okay? So this question here, we need to expand it to simplify. Okay? To go to expand it to go to standard form. Okay? So as we did before, first thing we have to do is expand and then simplify. So we leave the 0.04 out here all by itself, because we got to do brackets if you remember in BedMath, and hypothetically even our exponent now. Okay. Then leave it out here, and this is where we do our FOIL. So that'll be x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 25. Y equals 0.4. Collect these terms. And then, this is going to be an ugly number. Oh, maybe it won't be that ugly. 0.4x squared minus 4x, and then that will be plus 10 minus 3. Then we collect these two together. Alright? So whoever was following along there, or no one, that's that for you